here in Hua Hin, Thailand. And today's topic would be on absolute and relative standard of living. So I actually learned about this subject from Warren Buffett. Of course, many people know about Warren Buffett, the multi-billionaire, one of the richest guys on the planet. But basically he said, and he's a very down-to-earth, practical guy. He still lives in the same house he did that he bought in the 1950s or something along those lines. But he's a very practical guy, and some of the billionaires that he hangs out with is also practical as well. But there's some words he mentioned that were pretty inspirational to me. And one of the things he said was that in order to live a good life, you must live like a teenager. And I was a little bit confused at first of what he meant. But essentially, when comparing himself as a billionaire to a teenager, it appears as though both have the same standard of living. So basically what I mean by that is you want to question how much is enough, or what is enough. So when you look at how a teenager lives, he has the same types of clothing, he eats the same types of foods, you know? And at the end of the day, all that really matters is your personal life. You know, your basic daily needs are met. At the end of the day, what really matters would be your friends and family, and how you view yourself at the end of each day. But essentially there is no big difference between you know, the types of clothing that you can buy, types of foods, and types of entertainment. I mean, it's relatively the same between a multi-billionaire and a teenager. It's relatively the same for everybody. And yeah, I mean, at the very end of the day, the most important thing would be your health, your friends and your family, and overall what you think of yourself. So it's actually interesting as well, because your work life as well, I mean, no matter what kind of job that you may be working at right now, work is work, right? I mean, the work in itself is very much different from everyone, between everybody, but the structure of it, the corporate structure of it, is essentially the same for everyone. You have a boss, and you have the different titles in the workplace, and you have relatively the same amount of stress as well, working that 9-to-5 job. And some people get bonuses, some people don't. Some people have longer vacations, some people don't. But the point is that it's essentially the same, no matter whether you're a millionaire or a teenager. But he basically goes on by saying that what's the point of having good health? You can't buy it, right? So those are pretty wise words. You know, you can't buy your health. You have to actually maintain it yourself. So that has nothing to do with your personal finances or money. But you essentially want to ask certain things to yourself, you know. Do certain things make you happier? Do certain things motivate you to learn more things? Is there any kinds of personal growth there for you? So you want to look at those values that both, you know, that both the rich and the poor could benefit from. I mean, you know, with the comparison with the billionaire, with the teenager, if you look at both of those categories, you want to look at what the similar aspects would be for both, and where it doesn't involve any kind of money. But another thing that you don't want to do is in comparing yourself with others, I mean, comparing yourself with others, envy, is probably one of the worst of the 7 deadly sins, and it can make you extremely miserable. And one way that a lot of people actually compare themselves is financially, right? Always believing that you are less than the person who has more money, but in actuality it's not true at all. But if someone else is getting richer than you are, or growing in some means or another, who really cares? You have to really get out of that mindset of comparing yourself financially. I mean, that individual, yeah, I mean, he or she worked hard to achieve what they have today, and they should be proud of it. But that was their own lifestyle, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that that should be your path. And I mean, there's a lot of you know, people who don't make a lot of money, but they're super happy with their lifestyles. Like an artist, a struggling artist, they're very passionate with their art, but yet they don't make a lot of money. And but then you look at the guy who has a 6-figure income or more in a corporate job, works every day, overtime, tries to get those bonuses, tries to outwit everybody around them. And what do they have? I mean, they have a lot of stress, and it really affects their health as well, both physically and mentally. One of the key points that was mentioned was that you want to focus on not the things you are trying to get, but you want to focus on the things you want to avoid. So that becomes very important. Just looking for the things that you should avoid in life, you know, competition, and also you know, just having that mindset of feeling inferior to other people. You know, you want to avoid those things because, you know, your health and your mindset is probably the most important things in your life. So for example, you know, ever since hitting financial independence, I mean, it may sound like I'm showing off sometimes, but I definitely am not, because I don't consider myself as being rich. That was never our intention, to become rich. Our intention was just putting aside that traditional job and you know, having to grow that freedom that we have today and finding what our passions are. So that was the whole point of reaching financial independence. And we essentially only have enough to cover all of our monthly expenses and to have a bit of a surplus at each of those months to invest. So that's our philosophy right now, and our net worth does continue to grow, but yet the pursuit is not to be rich. And although you know, Warren Buffett is a multi-billionaire, he really treats money as gaining money as a game, right? He doesn't really care much about, you know, how much money he has. I think he's worth over $25 billion or some crazy number like that. But really, you don't really need that much money to survive, you know. But he still lives a very humble life, you know, living in that house that he bought back in the 1950s. And he has the same breakfast he does every day. He eats at McDonald's, always ordering the same thing. But he's, you know, he's a wise man. You know, you can't really see rich people as always being extremely greedy, but he has good philosophies to give to the common person. And another thing that Warren Buffett mentioned was that his life hasn't really changed much, you know. He's gaining more money, and it's more like a game for him to do so. But his life overall has not really changed much at all. So he's living that, his health isn't getting any better. You know, it's just basically living that life that the teenager does, right? So, well, I think I have my vlog here today. Tell me what you think of absolute and relative standard of living in the comment section below. If you like this vlog, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell for more of my coming content here. Thank you for watching my vlog. Be free, gain wealth, and travel far.